What is up, my friends? It's your boy Bailey's dad, and today we're going to be looking at a book. If you came here thinking that you were going to see anything other than a book, well, I guess I'm sorry. But if you are excited about books, especially art books, then today's your day. Because today we're looking at the Art of Supercell.
Bailey's dad.
And Debbie's too.
So I got this in the mail the other day. I think it was like $40 through this reseller or this publisher. I think it came from like Illinois or some really Midwestern random place. And it took, I don't know, like 10 days to arrive here. But when I finally got it, it came inside of a box full of packing peanuts. If you don't know what packing peanuts is, you need to know. This is part of my childhood. Google it. But it came in a bunch of packing peanuts, which created a whole mess inside of the studio back there. But I was happy to get it. Finally, the book was here. If you haven't already seen the video that I made on the missing artists of Supercell, this is an amazing partnership. And this is an amazing sort of, what the heck am I trying to say? This is an amazing companion. That's it, companion. This is an amazing companion to that video. If I had had this, I think maybe I would have added some more info to it. But if you haven't seen that video, go check it out now. It is awesome. It's still good today. I actually watched it the other day. Super solid video. This is kind of a twofer video because for those of you who can't really sit here and read this entire 207 or 8 page book full of cool art stuff, then there is a short version, which is this video. But the long version, if you want to see every single page, I'm going to leave the link up here. There's going to be a card. If you have the YouTube app, you'll see that come up. If not, it's in the description below, where you can watch a completely silent, no commentary version of this book. You can watch every single page, enjoy all of it to your heart's content, and 10 of you will do that. So I'm excited. I look forward to seeing the 10 views on that video. Let's go! Just kidding. Try to be positive, Adrian. Don't be a negative Nancy. But without further ado, I just want to jump into some pages. In particular, I want to go through the Clash Royale pages and the Brawl Stars pages just to show off what is in here. So let's begin. So starting with the Clash Royale pages here, it's pretty cool what you can see right off the bat. Some really great early concept art for what the game was going to look like. And it had a very different style. Like, look at this wizard. That's totally not Clash Royale versus this one kind of seems like it's getting close to being that. And you can just see the evolution of everything that is now and what it was back then. Some of the early concept work for cards that didn't make it, like this goblin drill kind of a card. You've probably seen this on some of the videos. And even what the bowler originally looked like. It had the Hog Rider mohawk. That's so cool. Wow, look at this. This one's pretty neat. It looks like a ice archer kind of a thing that's going on there. All of the different iterations it took to get to the magic archer. This reminds me a lot of the Mother Witch now, actually. Ah, the ghost. Anybody remember this one? Let me know in the comments below if you remember seeing concept for this. There's kind of like maybe a prototype version concept for the flying machine. And this is kind of cool. The Dark Goblin used to have a goblin paint on it instead of the regular 3 little circles that we know and love today. And take a look at this arena here. It's almost like a underwater Kraken type arena with shells for the spires of the little castle area there. So cool. Never got used. Obviously, it transformed into something else as it continued in its development life, but super cool nonetheless. That's cool. An early version of what the arenas were going to look like. Seems like it gradually gets bigger and bigger. It's building up to become, I don't know, something grand instead of all these different individual locations. I like these better. This page I found really interesting. Maybe you didn't know this, but there used to be a Clash Royale trading card game. So Supercell partnered with Topps, the famous card making publisher, I guess. I don't know what it is, and this was going to be some of the artwork for the second run, the second series of the Clash Royale trading card game before they ended up canceling it, unfortunately. Of course, maybe the most important part of the Bailey's Dad channel, besides the family and myself, are the emotes. Look at this. Nothing in here that we haven't already seen besides maybe these little guys right here, which remind me, these are characters from Clash-O-Rama, actually, it looks like. And here we are in the Brawl Stars section of the book. So cool, man. One of my favorite. What? Oh man, that's so cool. You can see this character, this sort of underwater fishy character, has been in the works from the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him coming very soon, but I remember hearing stuff about him and never getting the release. Here's some concept stuff too from what the game was going to look like in the beginning. Portrait mode. Wow. That's incredible. Look at this early version of Shelly. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Definitely looks nothing like she does today. Looks like this is Mike. Oh my gosh, and Bull maybe? Yeah, wow, the early concepts. Colt looks pretty much exactly the same. And there's Daryl and a chicken? Okay. Mr. Chicken, where'd you go? Slugfest. Wow. The original name, maybe? Working title for Brawl Stars? Oh my gosh, look at the different faces they were planning for Spike. That is crazy. Dude. And eventually they just settled on this guy right here. But look at this. Could you imagine if Spike had any of these other features? That is totally bizarre. Especially this one with a knife in his head. Dang. Crazy. But look at these, some of the original versions of Tick. With the double eyes, he looked kind of like a crab. Or maybe that's what the King Crab skin was going to look like. That's wild, man. This is also an amazing page here. All the different versions of the logo before they settled on the one that we have today. You may not be able to see the detail here in this one, but it's got a little bullet right there in the R, and it's got a fist in the S. Very busy logo. And obviously the simpler the better. Totally simplified all of these into this. And let me know in the comments below which one you prefer. The Brawl Stars original logo or the new logo. And of course, the final section of the book here is the graveyard of killed games. I thought this was really cool to see because this is the history of Supercell and the games they made. Can you believe originally they made a top-down zombie apocalypse game called Gunshine.net? And it was literally on a web browser that you played it. Incredible. It wouldn't even happen today because I think it was a Flash game, and now Flash has expired just like Gunshine has. Spooky Pop. This is fascinating. Maybe the original version of what became Heyday Pop. They didn't think that it could stand on its own, so they had to give it one of the properties, Supercell properties, an artwork to make it work, and still it ended up in the graveyard. Ah, Smashland, the game that made it so far, but then eventually got killed. This is sort of like a game that was kind of like you take your little character and you launch them and you hit the either opponents or enemies or whatever. Sort of like a dueling with hockey pucks. I don't know what you'd call it, but still ended up in the graveyard. And this is maybe the saddest of all of them. Rush Wars is it was a full-fledged game. It launched, but it wasn't hitting the metrics that they were expecting for a Supercell title, so they eventually killed it. And imagine, look at all the work that went into this, man. So crazy. There goes Bernie Sanders. So crazy. All the assets, all the characters, maybe even the stories that they created for the characters. And all of it just wasn't up to snuff like the other Supercell games. So they had to kill it. let's hope that any future games that are being worked on now don't end up in the graveyard of Supercell. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That was a blast, and I'm sure I'll go through this book in more detail and study it out for my own personal enjoyment. But this was just an awesome thing to see. Really, really cool to get an insight into how they operate and what their style is and how many games they've done and just everything. It's so awesome. If you want to see the long form version of this book, every single page without commentary, you can check the description and the link will be there for that video. So as always, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to leave us a like and hit subscribe for more Supercell content. And I'll see you guys next week on Bailey's Dad.